The restaurant was quiet except for the soft hum of piano music. Candles flickered on each table, casting golden reflections across the polished glasses. Amelia hesitated at the entrance, her palms slightly damp. She wasn't supposed to be here. Her best friend had begged her to take her place on this blind date, promising it would be quick. The guy's probably dull. Just go, have a nice meal, and leave, she'd said. But the moment Amelia stepped in, she froze. Sitting alone at the corner table was a man who didn't look like someone from any dating app. He was tall, sharply dressed, with a face both handsome and heartbreakingly tired. His wristwatch alone probably cost more than her month's rent. Yet what struck her most wasn't his looks, it was the quiet sadness in his eyes. He looked up when she approached. "You came," he said softly, almost in disbelief. Amelia nodded, trying to smile. "Yeah, sorry I'm a bit late. Traffic." He gave a faint smile and stood to pull out her chair. "I've been waiting, but honestly, I didn't think anyone would." They ordered quietly, and conversation started slow, small talk about work, the city, the weather. But then he asked, "Do you believe people can start over?" The question came out of nowhere. Amelia blinked. "I think everyone deserves a chance to. Even if it's hard." His eyes softened. "My name's Ethan. I'm a single dad. My son's 7. I haven't been on a date since his mother left." He paused, watching her reaction. "Tonight's supposed to be my first try." Amelia felt something twist inside her. "That must have been hard," she whispered. He nodded slowly. "She left right after he was born. Said I cared more about my company than her. Maybe she was right. I built an empire, but I didn't notice when my family fell apart." Amelia looked at him. Really looked. The powerful CEO everyone probably feared at work was just a man quietly breaking apart. When dessert came, Ethan suddenly laughed softly. "My assistant said a blind date might help. I thought she was joking. And now," he looked up, meeting her eyes. "Now I don't want the night to end." Amelia felt her heartbeat quicken. "It doesn't have to," she said gently. For the first time, he reached out, hesitating, then took her hand across the table. His palm was warm, trembling slightly. "Don't leave," he murmured, voice barely above a whisper. "You're the only one who came." Amelia didn't pull away. The lights shimmered above them, and for a moment, the world outside disappeared. They sat in silence, connected not by words but by something unspoken, two lonely hearts finally seen. Outside, rain began to fall, tracing silver lines down the glass. Amelia glanced toward the window, then back at Ethan. "Maybe rain's a good sign," she said softly. He smiled, eyes gentle now, no longer guarded. "Then maybe this is our start." And as thunder rolled quietly in the distance, neither of them moved, as if afraid to let go of the one moment that, for both of them, finally felt real. After dinner, they walked outside together. The night air was cool, brushing softly against Amelia's skin as city lights flickered like tiny stars reflected in puddles. She hugged her coat tighter, stealing glances at Ethan as he walked beside her, his stride steady, but his eyes thoughtful, distant. For a man who carried himself like he owned the world, there was something fragile in the way he breathed, like he hadn't let himself feel calm in a very long time. "You know," he said suddenly, voice low, "I almost canceled tonight. I thought no one would ever understand what it's like to rebuild from ashes." Amelia smiled faintly. "Maybe you just needed someone to listen." He stopped walking and looked at her, almost surprised. "Do you always say the right things?" She laughed softly, shaking her head. "No, I just know what loneliness sounds like." For a moment, he said nothing. The sounds of traffic faded, replaced by a silence that felt strangely comfortable. Then he spoke again, more quietly. "Can I tell you something crazy?" Amelia nodded. "My son, Noah, he asked me this morning if I was still sad. I told him no, but he didn't believe me. He said I needed a friend. Maybe that's why I came tonight. Amelia's heart ached at the honesty in his voice. Then maybe your son's smarter than both of us. Ethan laughed softly, the sound warmer this time. They kept walking until they reached her car. He hesitated, hands in his pockets. I don't usually do this, he began, his tone almost shy, but I'd like to see you again. Not because of the date. Because for the first time in years, I didn't feel like I was pretending. She hesitated, torn between caution and curiosity. Okay, she said finally. But next time, no suit. Just you. He smiled. A real, unguarded smile that transformed his face completely. Deal. She reached for her car door, but he stopped her gently. Wait. He pulled out a folded napkin from his jacket pocket, the one she'd used during dinner. On it, written in neat handwriting, were the words, "Thank you for showing up." Amelia looked at him, speechless. I've spent years surrounded by people who only came for what I could give them, he said quietly. But you came, and just listened. That means more than you think. Her eyes stung unexpectedly. Then maybe I'll keep showing up, she whispered. He took a step closer, his voice almost a whisper now. I'd like that. As she drove away, she caught his reflection in the rearview mirror, standing alone on the wet sidewalk, hands in pockets, watching her leave. But his shoulders weren't heavy anymore. He looked lighter, somehow, hopeful. The next morning, her phone buzzed. It was a message from an unknown number. Ethan. Noah wants to meet the girl who made me smile again.